So we'll talk about Pisco. So who can tell me what Pisco is? Nick first.
It's an unaged brandy from Peru.
Unaged grape brandy from Peru. What else?
It's the national spirit of Peru.
It's the national spirit of Peru. That's good. Anything else? Well, what does it taste like?
Floral kind of, right?
Perfumey.
I think it's like has a similar vibe to like tequila.
Okay.
Take it like a shot.
So, does anybody know how old Pisco is?
Like unaged, right?
The origin or
The origin.
We could guess.
1800s.
Does anybody know where Pisco, the name, comes from?
Is it?
This is fine. This is fine. I mean, I don't expect you guys to know. I just want to know where you guys are at. Okay. I mean, that's the most accurate guess.
Between Peru and Chile, who's originated?
Yeah. There's back and forth. Does anybody else know any interesting facts about Pisco?
The achelado, that's a blend, right?
So what-
Ratas de puro pisco?
We can get into that now.
No.
No, close. Okay, so this, I'm not an expert by any means in terms of Pisco when it comes to the cocktail world. There's millions of guys that know more than I do. In this restaurant, I'm considered an expert because this is one thing that I work with the most. Where do I get my information from? Anybody know? Online. What does that mean?
Anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it, right? So this information comes off the Pisco Portón website. Now, we use Pisco Portón products. Does anybody know where Pisco Portón is? Anybody? Okay. Now, just making sure that, we go back and forth. Okay.
Is that wrong?
So I'm going to read. This is reading right off the website. Pisco Portons is smooth flavors that go back centuries, 4 centuries to be exact. Like all good things, Pisco began as an act of rebellion. In 1641, the King of Spain, Philip IV, imposed heavy taxes on all wine produced in Peru. In response, his New World subjects dodged the onerous tax by distilling the year's grapes harvest. So what does that mean? So basically they were making wine in Peru. The Spanish were. Why were the Spanish making wine in Peru? Anybody know?
That's right.
Because of Christianity. What is the one sacrament that you have to go through if you're going to be Christian? And that's what Spain at that time was. You got to go through communion. And that is the intake of bread and wine. So just like in San Antonio, it's one of the oldest in North America to produce wine. San Antonio is. It's because of the missions. So same thing in Peru. They were producing wine in Peru. 1641, the King of Spain ordered some taxes that who knows if they were high or not. Well, that's up to who cares. The New World subjects said we ain't paying that. So what did they do? They grabbed the grape harvest of that year, that what they would traditionally make wine with, and they distilled it to become a spirit. That way they wouldn't be taxed on it, and they still get the alcohol to become drunk. So in copper vats, they created Pisco, and it's in reference to the port of Pisco. There's a port in Peru called Pisco. This new spirit was exported, and the word literally means bird. So that's something that some good little information you can give out. Pisco. Pisco translates into to the word bird. In what language? Does anyone know? It was the name of a cocktail that we had here. The language is called Quechua. That is the language in Peru. One of the very many languages that they speak that's very, very old. It's more the indigenous. So to this day, they still call Pisco the national spirit of Peru. Now, there are different grapes that Pisco is made from, and different grapes taste differently, creating different Piscos, obviously. So, Pisco can boast what only a handful of other spirits enjoy, a denomination of origin. This means, quite simply, that all Pisco must be made in a specific region and under the strictest of guidelines. That's what separates Pisco from other grape spirits like Sangani and Chilean Pisco. In Peru, they actually have guidelines that require specific regions to create certain Piscos. Yeah. So, all Piscos are made in distilleries along the southwestern coast of Peru and must be distilled from any of 8 specific aromatic and non-aromatic grape varietals: Quebranta, Negra Corriente, Molar, Italia, Muscat, and Abia, Torontel, and Uvina.